Good day, everyone. Welcome to the next Redfish School training session. I am John Mayfield from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and today we will continue the fabrics model in Redfish. This is the third session of a three-part series on the fabrics model. In this final session, we will go over example fabric implementations. Today, we will discuss representations of different fabric types: Ethernet, SAS, NVMe over fabrics, and PCI Express. We will have a separate session to go over Compute Express Link fabrics. Here we will show examples of each of these fabric models, including showing predominant use cases for each of the fabrics. Some model capabilities like connections can be used, but they may not be required in each of these fabric types. Starting with Ethernet fabrics, they consist of switches, Ethernet interfaces, zones, and address pools. Connectivity is defined with endpoints and switches within the fabric. And there are no distinctions between initiators and targets for Ethernet fabrics. This is a simple fabric which follows the model well. We have an Ethernet fabric on the right with a switch and two ports. There are address pools and zones established on the fabric, and there are two endpoints that are the two network device functions of the two network adapters. The network adapter ports connect to the switch ports. SAS fabrics consist of storage resources like drives, volumes, and storage controllers. Their connectivity is defined with endpoints and switches as well. In SAS fabrics, hosts are initiators and drives are targets on the fabric. This is an example of a storage JBOD. The SAS fabric is on the right, and we have endpoints pointing back to SAS devices in a SAS fabric. There are no ports for drives. Switch ports point back directly to the target devices. There's also a switch port that connects to the storage controller port in systems. Next, we have NVMe over fabrics. They consist of NVMe drives, volumes, and NVMe controllers. Connectivity is defined with connections and endpoints. Hosts can connect to an interface provided by a network device function to access volumes on the NVMe subsystem. For additional information, the Storage Network Industry Association has example educational material on their website and a video on NVMe over fabrics. In NVMe-oF, we have initiators, which are hosts, and targets, which are NVMe drives. The storage model contains the NVMe subsystem and has a defined volume. As with SAS fabrics, the drives are in chassis. Connections are used to connect the host endpoints to volumes. The last fabric we will discuss today is PCI Express. These consist of switches, endpoints, zones, and devices. Some examples include PCI Express Ethernet devices, storage controllers, and processors. Connectivity is defined with endpoints and switches. The host root port is represented as a computer system. This is an example of a PCI Express fabric. We have endpoints that point back to devices in PCI Express fabrics. In the fabric model on the right, the fabric switch has upstream and downstream ports. The root endpoint is represented in systems, and a SAS HBA points to the storage controllers in systems. There is also a zone that allows the devices to communicate with each other. This brings us to the end of the Fabric Examples video. Thank you very much for watching today. For more information, you can visit the DMTF website at dmtf.org, or you can visit the Redfish Developer Hub at redfish.dmtf.org.